where you said, oh, okay, that guy's maybe more comfortable?
So you didn't hear any part of my response.
No.
That's funny. Yeah, wasn't that good? That's what Tom said. I'll try and make it better. I said Tavon, having him come in, he's a super positive guy, and he's been kind of a hype guy at times for our sideline. But he's brought a really good, positive vibe to the locker room and to the sideline, which is I think has been great. And the second person I highlighted was Elton. I mentioned that after David Bakhtiari kind of stopped riding him so hard as a rookie. It's been fun to see Eldon kind of step into his role as a young leader on the football team and see the personality come out and get a chance to hear him talk. It's been really fun to hear. He's a really good-hearted kid and a really talented player.
Mike Spofford.
Aaron, are you disappointed at all that maybe it's not going to be quite as cold as it could be in mid-January based on the weather forecast, or just your thoughts there?
I haven't seen it exactly, but I would caution anyone looking at the weather. Things change very quickly in Green Bay. Every time I look at the weather, it seems, during the fall especially, it says rain on Sunday. Very rarely happens. So I would caution until we get a couple days closer. I'm not going to Cameron Moreland this thing, but you never know what could change with the weather in 4 or 5 days.
Tim Van Born.
Hey there, Aaron. I was doing something with James Jones today, and he said the hardest playoff win to get is that first win. The Rams have it, and he said that puts the pressure on you guys to really be ready to go right out of the box. Do you agree with that? And kind of what's he talking about there? I
have no idea. You'd have to ask James what he's talking about there. We've been in the situation before in the divisional round. We've had some success. It's I don't think it's a large advantage playing the week before or a disadvantage with any potential assumed rust. Unless you're getting out to the lead that Cleveland got on Pittsburgh, starting with the first play, it doesn't, it's a 4-quarter game. When you get in a situation, there's 8 teams left, every team is good. And I'd say all of them have really good defenses too. So there's no cakewalks, there's no easy games. It comes down to execution and the little things that we talk about all the time. We always talk about starting fast. We've done a good job at that, scoring on the first possession of many games this season, which would definitely help us on Saturday, but we know it's going to be a game that's going to go the distance.
Mark Daniels.
Hey, Aaron, you got me? Thanks. Matt was saying something interesting about, the Rams system on defense. Tough to kind of see where guys are going to be lining up, and it's very well thought out. And it seems like it's going to require a lot of concentration, obviously, on pre-snap, but then post-snap as well. But if you think too much, the old adage is, if you're thinking, you're not playing. So how fine of a line is that going to be?
Yeah, that doesn't even come into my stratosphere. I just play. Part of playing quarterback is thinking, and the other part is reacting. So I'm going to think when I need to think, and I'm going to react when I need to react. I've seen a lot of looks over the years. This is definitely unique in some ways. They're very well coached. They got a good scheme. They place some umbrella on the back end, keep a lot of things in front of them. They're very good tacklers, a lot of vision to the football, really good pass rush, obviously generational talent in Aaron Donald inside, but a lot of really good players as well on that front and the second and third level too. So, just got to go out, trust your instincts, trust what you've seen during the week, and be ready to react.
Bill Huber.
Congratulations on Jeopardy, first of all. And you just mentioned Aaron Donald. From your perspective as a quarterback, what's the challenge when you got a guy like him rushing up the middle?
Yeah, I said it back in 2018. It's very rare that you have an impact player that rushes from the inside. There's just not as much space. J.J. Watt has done it for a long time and also done it on the edge. But most of the real impact players when it comes to pass rush are edge rushers. A little different with 99. He's a special player. Obviously a first ballot Hall of Famer, impact player every single year, a guy that you have to game plan for. have to be aware of where he's at all times. And just one of those special talents that we haven't seen a whole lot of in this game, in the history of the game. So a lot of credit to him, the way he takes care of himself, his motor, and he's somebody that you got to be worried about.
Tom Silverstein.
Aaron, you have been involved in 3 of the last upsets of the number 1 seed in the NFC, and 2 of them you were the team that upset them. Is there something about the early part of the game or something that tells you early on, how you're going to perform that day, particularly maybe anything you learned from the loss against the Giants?
Well, that game was such an anomaly. I feel like, Tom, so many things happened that day that just hadn't really happened throughout the season. Johnny fumbled. We had Greg open on a touchdown and the ball got knocked in my hands. They had Hail Mary at the end of the first half after trying to run the clock out and doing a little toss sweep to the left where Ahmad, cut way back on the right side and put him in position to even have the opportunity to throw the Hail Mary. So that's such an anomaly game. I think we were a little shell shocked at halftime there, thinking we were going in down 1 score, we're going in down 2 scores. Just didn't really recover. And obviously they went on to win the Super Bowl. They got hot at the right time and finished off that season the right way. It is often the teams that get the hottest that win in the playoffs. We're coming off obviously a big winning streak. The Rams had an important play-in game in Week 17. We had a game with a lot to play for the 1 seed as well. So they went to Seattle, played a familiar opponent, played really, really well. And they're coming in with the confidence that they should have. And we're coming in with the confidence as well as the season that we've had and what we believe we're capable of. And then, like I mentioned earlier, it just comes down to execution at that point. In those upsets, we were on the good side. We definitely got off to a decent start, and then we were very good in situational offense, touchdowns in the red zone, and really good on third down.
Chancellor Johnson.
Hey, Aaron, being the reflective guy that you are and knowing how hard it is to win in this league, let alone be Super Bowl contenders, and knowing that this team could look a lot different next year, how much more are you cherishing this run?
Yeah, good question. I have mentioned a few times this year that I feel like I have been trying to cherish every moment a little bit more, different perspectives maybe with this season, with a lot of things that happened, in the off season and in my own personal growth. Just trying to live a little more positively and with a little more gratitude every single day. And, thankful to be in this opportunity, to be one of the Final 4 teams in the NFC and to have a team that has the opportunity to go the distance, type of talent and chemistry that you're always looking for building during the season. And we've gotten to this point with a lot of good football and guys coming together the right way. So I really do cherish these opportunities, and we're going to make the most of them, everything that's in our control.
Rob Domofsky.
Hey, Aaron, we know how good you are getting Devontae the ball and him getting open. How much harder does that get this week just because of Ramsey on the other side?
Yeah, it depends. Rob, they've been playing a lot of 2-show. So that, it's different. Just like I feel like the NBA is different where there's, it's not like, okay, MJ's coming to town and, somebody's got him one-on-one all game and he's going to try and drop 50 on him. The Rams have a dynamic player in Jalen. But they have been playing a lot of more 2-show. So I don't know how much mano is going to be out there. I'm sure that there's going to be some opportunities, and he is super talented. But we're going to have to go out and execute, run the ball effectively, try and, make sure we're giving different looks to that pass rush. And then when it comes to situational football, we got to be playing like we have all season. We've been great on third down and great in the red zone.
Olivia Reiner.
Hi, Aaron. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. So it's coming up on 10 years since the Super Bowl win. How often do you pull out your ring, whether it's just for you to look at or to show maybe other guys in the locker room? And then when you do, what are the moments or the lessons that you think about from that season?
Yeah, I might pull it out once a year, maybe. I don't look at it a whole lot. It's a special relic from a special season. A lot of great memories that year. a lot of great personalities. That group had so many interesting guys, from Howard Green driving his car, from New York down to, I think, Mississippi or Louisiana, where he's from, and then rerouting and coming to us, and just what a great personality he was. BJ Raji, and everything he brought to the table. My dear friend AJ Hawk, being such a rock for us. Charles Woodson in the speeches late in the year. Matt Wilhelm joining our card game on the roads, and what he did for our special teams that year. James Starks coming off the pup when everybody was wondering who the heck this guy was from Buffalo, and rushing for 100 yards in the first game of the playoffs. Jordy coming into his own really in the Super Bowl, and kind of making that a trampoline for his career, becoming our number one for a few years, number of years, I guess, and just what a big game he had. Greg, and the big plays we had in the Super Bowl, squeezing that one in between Clark and Palomalu, and then him talking about wanting a corner route, which ended up being kind of the winning score, and hitting him down the middle on 3rd and 10 on 27 Tampa. A lot of great memories. The embraces after the game with Mike, Clay, and John Kuhn, and Corliss. It's a special moments that kind of stick in your brain. People ask me all the time, how come you haven't watched the Super Bowl ever? And I always say, I got all the memories right here, man. They stay fresh on the brain.
Mike Clemens.
No doubt you remember every play, buddy. Does this Brandon Staley's already had 2 head coaching interviews? Does this resemble Vic Fangio's stuff in Chicago and in Denver? Yeah,
it does. Yeah, there's a lot of similar stuff. I have a ton of respect for Vic. I think he's an excellent mind, and he has been for a long, long time. Played against this defense, a few different places actually. Coach Staley's done a really nice job. It's fun to see the young coaches coming up and getting opportunities. It's kind of where the league is going a little bit. And it's the beauty of the league is there's young guys getting opportunities and getting a chance to put their stamp on systems that they've been in. Same with Matt, being around great coaches. There's a lot to be learned from those experiences with those coaches. And then when you get the opportunity, it's just about your own personality coming out and doing things the way you want to do it, taking things from all the experiences that you've had. And it's good for him getting those opportunities. I'm sure, he'll continue to.
Aaron Nagler.
Aaron, one of the narratives, I know what a fan of narratives you are, around your offense this year is the increased efficiency. You go back to last year, there were a lot of games where you guys kind of stubbed your toe on offense. And this year, you've been moving the ball up and down the field. Going back and rewatching the season this bye week, it's really apparent how much more you have embraced the check down. I was wondering, was that conscious this offseason? Was that something that the coaches put on you? Is that just a product of the second year in the system? Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a product of the second year in the system and actually knowing where those checkdowns were on every single play. I think whenever you become more of an expert of the offense, that's those little things that kind of hit your brain at the last second. Oh, check down, just being able to find those things a little quicker, I think has helped. I also think the other thing is just really kind of a better approach to timing. And I talked about it a lot in training camp and throughout the season, just rededicating myself to really being great on the timing, getting the ball out of my hand. And sometimes that means get to the check down quicker. We've had a lot more positive plays this year. Obviously we had a low number of sacks and a big part of that was me just, I think just being better through my progressions and quicker to the checkdowns.
Chris Roth.
Hey, Aaron, you mentioned earlier the belief in what you guys think you can accomplish. You go into this as the same record as a year ago, but we all know you achieved it in a different manner. So can you articulate just maybe if there's a difference in what you guys believe you're capable of this year versus last year? And secondly, quickly, a fashion review on Schneidman's velvet tracksuit today, if you saw it.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
Oh, you missed out.
I'm sure it was pretty solid. I would just continue to encourage all of you on the sidelines. That's your one opportunity to impress us. So I know you don't get a lot of time out there. We don't get to see it in the locker room. We don't get to see it in the locker room anymore. So our only opportunity is to, like, let's see the swag on the sidelines. You got to bring in maybe some brighter colors. Maybe Mark Daniels and get some of those neons that you used to wear back in the 70s and 80s. Bring some of those old outfits now, man. That's what we want to see. We want to see the personalities come out. You know what I mean? Wildy, like, don't wear shorts. Okay, that's my advice for you. Let's just stay in our lane though as well. It's kind of like the movie Hitch. Where he's telling him about dancing. He's like, don't go all crazy. Just stay in your lane sometimes. So some of you stay in your lanes. Schneidman, it seems like you're kind of out there doing your thing with the outfits. Keep it up. But for those of you who want to branch out a little bit, I think this is your time. And if your lane is, the neons and the Zubas, what are the pants?
Zubas.
The Zubas, the Kevin Green pants, I call them. Hey, bring those back too. We'd love to see it. But I can't remember what the question was, Chris. So hopefully that was a good one.
How about can I just fire it back at you real quick?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So same record as last year, but obviously you guys did it a
different
different way. So what's the difference between the belief this team has in itself versus last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think the belief is very similar. I feel like we thought we could win it last year. The Niners were such a dominant team last year. I think that kind of hit our confidence maybe a little bit. We didn't maybe have the exact same type of belief this year. But look, confidence is an interesting thing. I mean, I feel like we all went in that NFC Championship with confidence we're going to win that game and go to the Super Bowl. That obviously didn't happen. They got out to a really big lead early. But I feel like we have a lot of confidence this year. We believe in ourselves. Offensively, we're just a much better team than we were. We're a much more efficient team. That helps for sure. On the offensive side of the ball, last year we were just so up and down. I think that's been the biggest difference offensively is we're playing with a lot more confidence.
Jason Wilde.
Hey, Aaron, thanks for the advice. To echo what Bill said earlier, congratulations on Jeopardy. There's a bunch of us on here that obviously know how much that means to you. So congratulations on that. I asked Coach LaFleur earlier today about going up against Shanahan and Saleh and his own brother. And I think he kind of acknowledged that he thought about it a little bit too much last year. Did you get that sense being around him last year? And then how have you seen him evolve? I mean, we all forget with all the success he's had, he's only a second-year head coach. So in what ways is he handling stuff like that better, or what other ways have you seen him improve this year?
Yeah, look, it doesn't matter who you're playing. If there's a connection back to that team, there's always a little something extra. I think that, whether it's Big Dog playing against Jacksonville, we really wanted to get him a touch, or former guys playing against our guys playing against their former teams. There's always just a little something extra, and there's bits of motivation or inspiration you can pull from, whatever slights or former places of residence or employment. I mean, there's always those things, I think, involved at some level. But yeah, Matt's obviously worked with Sean and worked with Mike Vrabel and Kyle Shanahan, Saleh. I think he was in Saleh's wedding, or Saleh was in his wedding or something. So there's a little bit of that incestuous nature, I think, to the coaching world in general. There's so many connections between these guys, and a lot of guys, keep getting jobs because of, it's a who business, really. And talent is obviously important, but also the relationships are so important when you're building a staff. So that all goes into it. I feel like Matt does a good job being, consistent each week. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to, beat this guy or that guy, maybe a tad bit more, but I feel like that's kind of human nature.
Steve McGargy.
Thank you for doing this. Just going back to the Jeopardy thing. I know you were a successful contestant a handful of years ago, but just what does this opportunity mean to you to get to host it, and what has that show meant to you over the years?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for asking that question. I'm really excited about it. We've been talking about it for a little bit. I think I may have jumped the gun a little bit, so I apologize to Jeopardy if they wanted to announce it. I just got so excited on the show earlier, and it kind of just went down the last couple of days, us figuring it out. So it is very exciting. It's for the off season. We'll be even more excited when that opportunity gets a little closer. But man, the show has been so special to me over the years. It's been a staple at my house here in Green Bay for the last 16 years. 6 o'clock watching Alex and trying to get as many questions as I can. When the opportunity came up in 2015, I mean, that was a dream come true. It really was. To be on there, to get to meet Alex was just such a special moment. And we all obviously sad about his passing. He's been, I've said it before, I think when he passed, but there's this nostalgic connection to certain figures, I think, in our life based on our childhood and where we were at those times when we had those memories. And it almost makes these people feel like family, like them. For me, it wasn't just Alex. It was when I did a college production meeting with the legendary Keith Jackson and Dan Fouts. I mean, those are guys I grew up watching on TV and hearing their voice and knowing what that voice was. That was really special. I grew up watching Pat Summerall and John Madden. My first production meeting with John Madden, you can imagine how exciting that was for me to be able to be sitting, across from a guy who I feel like I know. I feel like he's a part of like my viewing family. So that was really special. And Alex obviously being one of those people as well, just watching him for so many years, and we all have so much love and